Dust. It choked the air, a gritty shroud obscuring the already weak sun. A young man, barely a man, hacked at the earth, his lungs burning. He dreamt of gold, of a life beyond this pit of despair. The mountain groaned, a low rumble that grew into a roar. Then the world dissolved into a chaos of dust and screams. They pulled his broken body from the rubble days later, another nameless casualty in the relentless pursuit of gold. His story, though lost in the cacophony of suffering, is not unique. Across the African continent, from Ghana's rainforests to the savannas of Tanzania, echoes the same tragic tale. China's insatiable hunger for gold has cast a long shadow across Africa. Fueled by a booming economy and a cultural reverence for the precious metal, Chinese companies have descended upon Africa's gold-rich lands. They bring promises of prosperity, of jobs and development. But these promises often ring hollow, masking a darker reality. This is a new scramble for Africa, a neocolonial enterprise cloaked in the language of partnership. But the power dynamics are starkly uneven. The real wealth, the gold ripped from the earth, flows eastward, leaving behind a trail of devastation. For more in-depth investigations, please like and subscribe to our channel. From sprawling industrial operations to small-scale, unregulated mines, Chinese involvement in African gold mining is vast and pervasive. Thousands of miles of land have been leased or bought, often with opaque contracts and dubious benefits for local communities. This is not just about gold, but about control of resources, of labor, of destinies. The impact is felt far beyond the mine shafts. Rivers run red with toxic runoff, poisoning water sources and decimating fish populations. Forests, the lungs of the planet, are razed to make way for mines, displacing communities and wildlife. For many Africans, the promise of work in a Chinese gold mine is not a choice, but a necessity. Poverty and lack of opportunity drive them to the mines, where they become cogs in a machine that values profit over human life. The work is brutal, dangerous, and often conducted with little regard for safety regulations. Accidents are commonplace. Respiratory illnesses caused by inhaling toxic dust are rampant. Workers toil long hours for meager wages, trapped in a cycle of debt and dependence. They are treated as disposable commodities, their lives sacrificed at the altar of gold. The environmental catastrophe unfolding. The quest for gold is leaving an indelible scar on Africa's environment. Cyanide, mercury, and other toxic chemicals used in the extraction process leach into the soil and waterways, poisoning the very lifeblood of the land. Farmlands are rendered barren, water sources contaminated, and ecosystems irrevocably disrupted. The consequences for human health are dire. Birth defects, skin diseases, and cancers are on the rise in mining communities. The true cost of this environmental devastation, measured in human suffering and ecological collapse, is immeasurable. Unraveling China's obsession. To understand the relentless drive behind Chinese gold mining in Africa, one must look beyond the balance sheets and economic indicators. Gold in Chinese culture is more than just a commodity. It is deeply intertwined with notions of prosperity, security, and status. It is the embodiment of wealth and power. This cultural significance, coupled with China's economic rise, has fueled an insatiable demand for gold. As China's middle class burgeons and its global influence expands, so too does its thirst for the precious metal, driving the relentless exploitation of Africa's resources. Tales of loss and resilience. Amidst the despair and destruction, stories of resilience and resistance emerge. Meet Abeni, a young mother who lost her husband to a mining accident. Left to fend for herself and her children, she joined forces with other women widowed by the mines to demand compensation and justice. Hear the words of Kwame, a village elder who witnessed the slow poisoning of his ancestral land by a Chinese mining company. He speaks of the struggle to hold on to their land, their traditions, their very way of life in the face of corporate greed. Statistics of exploitation. The human and environmental toll of Chinese gold mining in Africa is not just a matter of anecdotal evidence, it is a grim reality reflected in stark statistics. Thousands of mining accidents go unreported each year. The incidence of respiratory illnesses in mining communities dwarfs national averages. Billions of gallons of water are contaminated annually by mining activities. Vast tracts of land, once teeming with life, now lie barren and scarred. These numbers, cold and impersonal, tell a story of exploitation and disregard for human life and the environment. A call for action. The time for complacency is over. The world can no longer turn a blind eye to the human and environmental devastation unfolding in Africa's gold mines. Governments must enact and enforce stricter regulations on mining operations, ensuring the safety of workers and the protection of the environment. Consumers, too, have a role to play. By demanding transparency and ethical sourcing practices from jewelry companies, we can help break the link between our desire for gold and the suffering it inflicts. The enduring legacy of gold fever. The legacy of gold throughout history is one of both allure and destruction. It has fueled empires and toppled civilizations, ignited dreams and fueled greed. In Africa today, the insatiable hunger for gold threatens to leave a toxic legacy, poisoning the land and jeopardizing the future of generations to come. The question remains, will we continue to repeat the mistakes of the past, sacrificing human lives and the environment on the altar of greed, or will we choose a different path, one that values sustainability, justice, and the well-being of all? Why are there not more people talking about the seeds of change in a golden landscape? Despite the challenges, there are glimmers of hope. Across Africa, communities are rising up, demanding accountability from mining companies and their own governments. Organizations are working tirelessly to raise awareness, promote sustainable mining practices, and empower local communities. The fight for a just and equitable future for Africa's gold mining regions is far from over. But with every voice raised, every act of resistance, every step taken towards a more sustainable path, the hope for a brighter future, free from the scourge of gold fever, grows stronger. If you found this exploration insightful, we invite you to subscribe to our channel for more content that delves into the fascinating histories and cultures of indigenous peoples. Don't forget to like this video and share it with others who may be interested in learning about the profound legacy of African gold. Together, we can foster a greater appreciation for the diverse narratives that shape our world today. Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey.